Tips for young DJs would be patience, probably. Play the long game, don't rush into anything, and don't feel like you're having to do everything all at once. A bit of a veteran now in this scene, I guess, having touring for kind of nearly 20 years, I would say that patience is the key, you know, and have a kind of, it's not always easy because sometimes people pop off really, really quickly and things happen overnight, it almost seems. But just try and ride that wave consistently rather than too many spikes, because, you know, gradually walking up a hill is a lot more successful than, you know, jumping straight to the top and then falling back down the other side. You know? But they say, don't they, that anything that's an overnight success probably isn't an overnight success. It's been building up to that point, you know. But yeah, you've just got to be patient, which is hard because it feels like, especially with social media and people's attention spans, that everything is so reactive. Of if you don't catch people in 3-4 seconds, they're gone, you know. But yeah, I think overall patience is key with this. This industry.
I want y'all to think about something for a second. DJing is truly an act from God, right? We take our two hands and our imagination and we shift the vibe in the room. We create energy, and we're also making memories memorable for all the attenders in the party. That's something that should be held sacred. DJing is an act of selflessness. It's not always about how we feel, even though we have preferences, but it's about the people. So understand this, doctors heal the body, therapists heal the mind, but the DJ heals the spirit. And it's not about clout, it's about calling. And when God calls you to help people heal through sound, that's sacred. Don't take for granted. Peace.
Creatives, you should stop making content. In fact, you should stop making art for your peers, that is. They're not your assignment and they're not your audience. You should make art for the people who love your art.
You ain't ready to put 5 years of grind into anything without making a quarter.
Right.
Don't even start. Sometimes it takes that long to get over the hump. They're not ready.
I think a lot of people go through this thing where if they share information, they're going to lose their business. They're going to lose their edge. Two things are true in this world. One, there's only one you, and nobody can do what you do, even if they try to copy you one for one. It's never the same. And then two, most people that you give information to won't actually take you up on your information. I could tell people right now how to start a business from scratch, all the pitfalls and all the things you should and you shouldn't do. And you know what? 2% will actually take my advice and use it. The rest of them either know better than me or are too lazy to make it happen.
Warning. The content discussed in this episode of the Cue It Up DJ podcast can be triggering to some. Our intent is in no way to attack anyone, but to have an honest and open conversation on tonight's topic. The stories told in this episode may be based on real events. However, some names, characters, locations, and identifying details have been changed to protect the privacy of the individuals involved. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, in those fictionalized elements is purely coincidental. So sit back, relax, and get ready to cue it up.
Before it's time to spin, you've got to first cue it up.
I'm probably in your area too. Everybody who owns a laptop, they're a DJ. Everybody who owns a DSL camera, they're a photographer.
And what I'll do is put up blurbs so therefore you can see what I'm thinking about and why I chose that song. You can see the reaction of the kids. So you can kind of like get an idea of how to use it and what to expect.
Why do you want to charge for something that you have the knowledge of and these other DJs don't have the knowledge of? Share your knowledge, you know?
Right.
But DJing's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun too, you know? I'm djmikiemike. I cover central, northeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania, parts of New Jersey, parts of New York State.
And I'm Dwayne Dixon, the HitmanDDub from Cleveland, Ohio. And it's time to cue it up. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Cue It Up DJ podcast. I almost forgot to hit the button. I'm busy reading the chats. I'm glad to see a lot of people showing up right at the start. We have DJ Night Owl in the chat. We have, is that you, DJ MM45? Mikey Mike? You and your burner accounts.
I got them all, brother.
Then we have Buddy in the chat. And then we also have DJ Cool Thing with us again. Because I don't even put down guest anymore. Because you've been here so many times, you pass the special guest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the Cue It Up DJ podcast is a podcast where DJs of all skill levels come to connect, learn, and grow. From pro tips to real talk, we're here to support and celebrate the DJ community. And in tonight's topic, it's not just for DJs, it's for everybody. This can be applied to no matter what kind of things you do in life. So hopefully you'll be able to get something out of it. Did I just miss somebody? Or did he just turn this?
The whole thing dropped off for a second. I don't know what happened. Maybe lost connection.
Okay. But last week, maybe he'll be back. But last week, if you missed it, Brian did show up. So if you're one of the ones that gave up and checked out at 10 o'clock, that's when he showed up. So at 10 o'clock, Brian came on to the show to talk about hidden gems and B-sides. And these are the three main things, the three takeaways from Brian S. Red's advice to DJs. He said, 1, stand out by digging beyond the obvious hits. So that means it's easy to play all the bangers, but then what do you play in between the bangers and after you hit all the main bangers? He said one thing he does is he tries to win the crowd first, and then he'll experiment. Meaning that when he starts his dance set off, he always try to do something that's familiar and popular with the dance floor to win their trust. Then once he wins the dance floor trust, then he tries to experiment, and hopefully he will have their trust that they'll be able to vibe for the whole night. And then the last thing he told us to make sure that we do is he said something about music knowledge builds connections, meaning that you need to go and, like what he said, he was a lover of music first before he looked at himself as a DJ, and Cool Thing had kind of like piggybacked on that last week as well. DJs should be music lovers first, as opposed to just jumping in and doing it for whatever reason other than pleasing the crowd and playing music. And let me see, what do we have in the chat? Oh, this is just going back and forth with you all. But before we get into our topic for tonight, Brian also had posted something on Facebook that was interesting, that caught my eye. And he had asked, what's the biggest issue you see facing the DJ community today? And this goes for the people in the chat as well. So remember, this is not just us us talking to you all. This is a two-way street, so we'd like to hear from the people in the chat. So what's the biggest issue you see facing the DJ community today?
Well, me personally, I see a lot of disabled DJs being treated really badly online and also at gigs. Like, we get taken like we're jokes, like we don't really matter in this DJ world, and that we just don't get enough love, we don't get enough support, we don't get enough like positivity in our DJ world.
Okay. What about you, Mikey Mike? Because we're going to discuss that later on in the show.
In today's DJ world, you know, we shall come together. We're all DJs, support one another. If you see one DJ making a little mistake or whatever, give them some constructive criticism. Also, you know, don't slam another DJ. I mean, I used to be on that one Facebook page, you know, bad setups or whatever like that. And these people were just slamming DJs after DJ after DJ. And I'm like, oh my Lord, that's it. I'm getting off this. I'm here to support every DJ. I don't care if they're disability. You know, there's the American Disability Act, the ADA. That protects disabled people, not just in just a regular workplace, but for everything. So respect a disabled DJ, respect every DJ, male, female, color, race, religion, whatever. Respect everybody. We're all DJs. We should stay together. We should bond together and support one another. Again, like if you see, if I post a video and I messed up on something, hey, shoot me an inbox, make a comment on it. I'm not going to get hurt by your comment if it's a little negative comment, but try to be constructive with that comment. Say, hey, Mike, you know, I would have did this or this or this instead of, boom, just slamming the door down on my face or slamming my fingers in the door, more or less, say like that way, because that hurts. You get a bad comment or unruly comment towards you as a DJ. Support each other. That's what we have to do. And again, today's world as a DJ, everything is moving so quick. I mean, we're in warp speed. You know, it's just boom, everything's flying by. So if you find something out new with some type of piece of equipment, software, whatever, share it. Share it on your Facebook page, YouTube channel, whatever. Believe me, we're all searching this out on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and we're looking for people finding stuff out new. People, you know, it might be a new camera, it might be a new way of recording your audio. Anything that could help us, please share it, and we'll do the same here.
Okay, and my answer to that.
Well said, Mike.
Huh?
Thank you.
I said, well said, Mike. Well said.
And my thing was, when I replied to his post, I had put down, there's a lot of DJs that have egos that's bigger than what their skill level is. And then also we have gatekeepers. And then as well as pay. People, just either you got the people that's undercutting on purpose, and then you got people that's overcharging. But here are some of the things that I put there was like 78 responses to this post. And so I had AI just summarize it. And these are the 4 main things it came up with. It says, value versus undercutting. The biggest ongoing pain point is balancing fair pricing with competition from cheaper DJs. The other one is skill and knowledge gap. Many feel newer DJs lack music history, technical know-how, and true dedication. The third one is community division. You got egos, gatekeeping, and a lack of mentorship weakening the DJ culture. And the last one was changing landscapes, where the client spending habits has changed over the years, especially after the pandemic. Everything is more on a budget, at least that's what they say. And then the music cultural shift and AI reshaping the industry's future. So those are 4 of the main key things, and maybe in a later episode, we'll take a deeper dive into what each one of those viewpoints really means. But for tonight, I've been wrestling with some things, and when I saw that, I want to also mention that to kind of like tie in this thing that I've been wrestling with. And I know I'm not the only one, but tonight's episode is called Summon People to Avoid in Your Inner Circle. You know, there's levels to DJing. Right now, I've moved from being a bedroom DJ to a part-time DJ, and I'm trying to do this like a business. And as you know, it's just like working in a company. The friendships and company you have when you first come in as a beginner or a new person, once you start moving up, let's say like a manager or higher up in the company, you know you can't keep the same kind of friends or close friends because everybody's not on the same level. And then when you get into issues where you're up here and your friends are down here and you have to oversee them or manage them, that could create a awkward feeling when you have to tell your friend what to do and all that kind of stuff. So my whole thing was looking at your inner circles, because what Brian put out and what they talked about was talking about external factors that can like help you or hold you back as a DJ. I want to take a look at some of the inner factors, things that when I say inner, it's either ourself holding us back and keeping us from moving forward, or the people that we surround ourselves with that's either holding us back or supporting us, helping us move forward. So throughout the night, I'm going to be playing short clips to lead up into the main topic that we're going to talk about. So there's 7 main topics. The first one, let's see what this first one is going to be about. Let's watch this video. This is from DMX. I like DMX. He's my favorite rapper. And there are some things that he says that's extremely true as far as just a life skill. And this is one of them.
I see what's in people. I see the good and I see the bullshit too. Always trust everyone to be themselves, but trust in the fact you can see them well. You know what I mean? So it's like, it takes too much energy to not trust someone. You only gotta stay 2 steps ahead of them or whatever. Trust them to be them.
Right. To be themselves.
Trust the snake to bite you.
Right.
Trust the lion to lie for you. Trust the thief to steal from you. Like, trust them to be them.
Too.
But know them when you see them.
Yep. So, my takeaway was this. You can control yourself, but you can't control other people. You can try to help people. You can try to offer opinions, but you also got to ask yourself when you're not being helpful afterwards. Because if that person is not receiving what you're trying to, your advice or your suggestions, then that's the time that you should kind of like bag off and maybe either leave them alone or find a different approach. Because if you continue to bash them and they already said that they do it this way, then let them just do it that way, because you can't change them. Only thing you're going to do is just create a rift between the two. Which leads us into our first slide, which is the DJ that's stuck in their ways. It says stuck in the past, but it's really a DJ that's stuck in their ways. So if you have that kind of person in your clique, you might want to think about if you're going to interact with them, how you interact with them, or whether or not you should walk away. So what is your all's opinion, as well as those that's in the comment section? the chat section too.
Well, a good friend of mine who's a DJ, I have total respect for him. A very good friend of mine. He is finally starting to break out of the past, leaving the CDs behind. And Hunter, he's buying the same controller you have. So he called me up and he asked me some advice like about my controllers. He's like, "Oh well, they're too advanced for me." He said, "Mike, I think I would like to do the ones with the flash drives and stuff like that," because he's with CDs and he buys his CDs from promo only. He orders them and this and that. So he took my advice. Took a couple of years before he finally caught on to it. And then another DJ friend of mine, he does DJ with virtual DJ. He doesn't have a controller or anything, and then he DJs with CDs yet. So he's back and forth. You know, you can't force somebody to do something. You just try to guide them, try to show them what you can do with the digital world as opposed to the CD world. You know, and it's so much more, I can't say easier, but it's user friendly. It's quicker to just type in a song and boom, it's there, instead of looking through CDs. And then hopefully you put the CD in, you hit the track number, and hopefully it doesn't skip. You're like, oh boy, you know, did somebody touch it? You know, so there's a lot of things there. But it does both the CDs and the virtual DJ. He could be playing at one bar tomorrow night, Friday night, and at 9 o'clock he's playing AC/DC Back in Black, and at 10 o'clock he's playing Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me. The following night, Saturday night, he's at another bar around our area here. 9 o'clock he's playing AC/DC Back in Black. 10 o'clock he's playing Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me. And he'll do this for a month. He'll have the same sets for a month, maybe 2 months. So it's just like repetitive music. You gotta, and I told him, you gotta break away from that. Try to, even if you still want to play those same songs, mix them up. Don't play them at the same time every, Friday night and Saturday night. At 9 o'clock, play Pour Some Sugar on Me, and play some Bon Jovi or whatever at 10 o'clock. Just mix it up. Don't be so repetitive. And I mean, he does it, then he goes back to his old way. So again, you try to help, try to teach, and they are accepting it. They are. It is a hard learning curve for a person that's been DJing with CDs for, like my buddy Bernie. He's been DJing with CDs for, I think, close to 30 years, maybe a little bit longer. So to switch out of that world, it is a big challenge for him. Not only that, all those CDs he's gonna have to convert over to MP3s now. And Hunter, you like that program I told you about, right?
Oh yeah, Tag Editor. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
because I'm able to put the artist name, the album name, the track names, and get the right artwork for the CD.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna have to tell my buddy Bernie about that, just to give him some guidance. So it makes it easier for him. It's like he's looking at a CD then, it's like you can't put it this way. There's an old saying, you can never change the stripes on a zebra. And some people, you're never going to change your way of DJing. They're just stuck in that groove, and that's it. Those zebra stripes will always be there no matter what you do.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. With this, I can't really say much about this because I'm actually one of those DJs who are actually stuck in the past, because whenever I go to like a school dance or a wedding or anything like that, I like to play music from my childhood, which is from the 90s, the 2000s, and maybe play some older stuff like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I never play any of the new stuff, so I'm not familiar with the new stuff, so I play most of the old stuff. And
nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
I have younger people requesting Run Around Sue and Hand Jive and stuff like that. And then I had a 80-year-old guy coming up. Hey, sir, do you have that song? Boom, 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 boom. I said, oh, yeah, I know which one you mean. That poor guy was out on the dance floor with his whacker. I mean, I'm like, scratching my head. Is this mixed up here? We got a younger couple requesting stuff from the 50s. We got a guy in his 80s requesting stuff from, the newer music. So it surprises you what. Well, I'll tell you, one of the biggest requests I get from the elderly crowd is Baby Shark. And I'm like, why are these people in their 70s and 80s requesting Baby Shark?
Because they can do it in their seat. They can't get up and dance, so you can do it in your seat.
Do I know what it is? They're babysitting all day long. They're watching their grandchildren because their children are out working. The husband and the wife are out working, so they're retired. They're watching their grandchildren, and the grandchildren love that song, so they're playing it over and over. So when they go out to a wedding, hey, sir, you have Baby Shark? Like, yeah. And if the bride doesn't have it on the do not playlist, and I'll go up to her, hey, do you mind if I throw Baby Shark? I got about 6 requests, but she'll ask me, she goes, Mike, there's no kids here. I said, no, I know. There was like 6 80-year-old people that want to hear it. Yeah, play it, and they get up on the dance floor and they're out there, doing Baby Shark. So which is great. A lot of fun.
I'd like to shout out. Why is it
Hey, Crossfire.
My Alexa is talking. Yeah, DJ Crossfire just showed up. Yeah, we doing our second lap around, so we gotta set up a time for you to come on the show. And then DJ Night Owl, if you want to join us, you can set up a time and then we can do a show together. But speaking about DJ Night Owl, he said too many DJs play the same played out music every event, even the same set, which is true. And that's what Brian has spoke about last week as well. But to end this one,
I actually don't do that. Like, I would actually start out with some of the usual stuff that I do, like Happy, Uptown Funk. What else? Can't Stop the Feeling. I would go to the line dances, but I would also mix it in with some of the requests. Like if they want, like one time they wanted Benson Boone, I would play Benson Boone, and if they wanted some hip hop, I would play some hip hop, and just mix it all in together.
The cool thing, when people ask me about line dancing, you know what I tell them? You're living in the wrong state, man. You have to go to Ohio. That's where they do all the line dancing at.
No, I don't know if they do the kind of line dances that we do. If you just doing Cotton Eye Joe and Wobble and all that stuff, then you won't be lost here.
Yeah, it's that. Wobble, Cotton Eye Joe, Cha-Cha Slide, stuff like that. The usual.
Watermelon Crawl by Casey Bird.
Yep. So as far as the stuck in their ways DJs, remember, you can only control yourself. You can't control other people. So the lesson here is don't waste your energy dragging someone who won't evolve. Because eventually, with the way technology is heading, only thing you're doing if you're stuck in your ways is just boxing yourself into a small, niche that could just be like the dinosaurs, eventually become extinct if you're not open to new things or new ideals.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And Kevin is here.
Oh, hey, Kevin.
Chat All-Star.
Hello, Kevin.
All right, let's take a look at our second person we need to kind of like take a close look at that's inside of our circle that could be holding us back.
I have one word in answer to what you just asked me.
No! How about a big no?
Yup. That's the one. Let me pull up the slide. Make sure I got the slide together. That is this person right here. It could be a family, it could be a friend, it could be a promoter. The Gig Opportunist. That it's the person that wants you to DJ for little or nothing. And the reason is because it's for a good cause. It'll be great exposure. Or plainly, can you just do it for free? They're always asking for the family and friends discounts. that could be a problem if you're trying to move ahead or move up the ladder, or as what DJ Reset told us and what Buddy tells us all the time. If you want to be looked at a professional, then you got to present yourself as a professional, market yourself as a professional, and your prices should kind of like align with your services, your professional services.
Yeah, definitely. Well, my thought on this is I'm actually one of those DJs, because I would take any gig that comes to me, because I'm always desperate for gigs, since I never really get to DJ a whole lot. And especially for a charity, because I actually DJ for a charity that helps 2 kids who died recently of a rare syndrome, and we were doing a pickleball tournament, and they wanted me to DJ for free, which I was willing to do, and because it's for a good cause, and I would take any opportunity that comes to me.
All right.
I will tell you, I had an opportunity to DJ a wedding, and the bride and groom guaranteed me, "Oh, we're gonna get you gigs when you do our wedding. Our family, there's a bunch of people get married." This, I said, listen, I said, I understand what you're trying to do. You want to get a cheaper rate. That that ain't gonna work. This is my rate. This is what I charge. I do work with specific venues that I do give them a discounted rate, because I get so many gigs from these 3 different venues. I'm on their preferred vendors list. So yeah, you gotta, how can I say, one hand washing the other. And if I refer a bride and groom to one of these 3 venues, they in turn also give them a discounted price on their wedding. I mean, that's a great help for the bride and groom. And I refer them to a friend of mine who's a photographer. He gives them a discounted price. Me and my buddy, who is the photographer, John, we ran a special, but you had to book both of us. You couldn't just book me, or you couldn't book just him. You had to book both of us for the event, and you got a discounted rate. Now, as a professional DJ, we don't have no degree. We don't have no license that's up on the wall that says we're a professional DJ. We're just a DJ. That's it, And the thing is, there's times that you have to not undercut yourself, but there's times that you have to turn around and say, listen, this couple that's getting married, they're having it at this venue, and it's a, what do you call it? My cat's all over him. I'm so sorry, but it's a fire hall, and they don't have the money for all this other stuff, all this glitter. My saying is, all that glitters isn't gold. So they book me. They ask me for a price on it, and then I go there and I see them. They're eating their food off paper plates. I'm glad I gave them a certain price on that wedding. It's, again, one hand washing the other. And from that event, I got 4 different weddings, and I was able to charge a nice, decent price for those weddings. So again, I gave them a discount rate because they didn't have the money for it. But I had a gig. I was happy. They were happy. Again, they didn't want all that glitter. They didn't want all the lights. They didn't want the uplights. They just wanted music, a couple lights. And matter of fact, the one video is on YouTube. I forget how many thousand likes it got. I think it's a short. I'm not sure. It's the mother and the son dancing together. And you know what happened at that wedding? It was so sad. 2 people came to the wedding reception, and around here they have a box where you drop the cards in. Here, nobody was paying attention. Nobody knew that these guys weren't invited. They just happened to come in. They had a shirt and tie on, and we thought they were part of the guest list. And here they weren't part of the guest list. And they ended up walking out with the box of cards. Every card was open. The cards that had checks in it were just dumped on the ground, but the cards that had cash in it, they were all gone. All the cash was gone. So this poor couple didn't have enough money for a nice, real nice wedding, but they made the best out of what they could afford. I gave them a great price on it. A friend of theirs who's a photographer gave them a great price on the photography too. But here they ended up losing money because some jerks came in and stole their money off them, stole their box of cards off them. It was so sad, really, really sad. So, as a DJ, you can't always say my price is 2,000, 3,000, 1,500, whatever. And, somebody calls you and say, this is my price, and that's it. Now, if they call me up and I know it's an exclusive venue that they're going to and they're still looking for a cheap price, I'm like, no, sorry. If they're calling me up and they're having it at a fire hall, they're having it at a pavilion, and you could tell, honestly, you could tell that these people, they're not lying. They want a nice wedding, but they just don't have the cash flow. You gotta be kind. And your kindness, that wins over so many other people. It's unbelievable. It really does. It just, they see what you did for them, but they turn around, they know they could afford a wedding. They're not looking for the same kindness that you gave that couple. They're happy. They're booking you, and they know they can afford you, so they're going to book you at your price that you need, but that you want.
Yeah. See, it doesn't go just for weddings, but also school dances. Like,
oh yeah,
it's like I DJ one school dance, which is the winter disco, and they keep bringing me back because I was, that good.
That's the thing, man. It's you got a good thing there. Keep it going, and it may have to increase your price a little bit because I know you belong to different DJ pools. Those prices keep going up. So if you raise your price $50 or whatever, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, and they're not going to say, "Oh, geez, DJ Cool Thing, you raise your price $50, we can't afford." They're going to say, "Hey, yeah."
Well, I always tell my clients, whether it's a school or charity or anything like that, that I would work with any price they want me to, because I don't DJ for the money. I DJ for the love of performing, playing music for a crowd, and I just do it for the fun. I don't do it for the money. I don't expect
do it for the pleasure. You know what I always tell people?
What?
I see people, you see all these DJs say, "Oh man, my dance floor is packed and this and that." I mean, there's times I DJed 250 people weddings, 300 people weddings. I only had 40 people on the dance floor, but the guests are leaving and go, "Hey, Mike, man, you played some great music tonight. Oh my God, we loved it. We enjoyed it. This was such a great wedding." They were in their seats. Their heads were bobbing and weaving. They loved the music. Some people are not dancers. I'm sorry to say that. They don't like to dance. They won't dance. I don't care if you put the best sign in the world on. They won't dance. And that's plain and simple. But they enjoy the music. You put a smile on their face, that's better than going out and having them out on the dance floor.
Yeah.
They're aggravated when they're out there because they don't want to dance,
Yeah, it's like when I go and DJ my sister's wedding next year, and also later this year for her engagement party. I'm not going to charge her because she's family. I'm my service is my wedding gift to her.
That's great. That is great. How about you?
Yeah, I was going to say, because I was going to piggyback on a couple of things, because I had just lost a wedding in January. Because see, I can't do that. My back and my legs won't let me DJ for fun anymore. So this couple, this bride, DJ Randy, the one that was in the chat last week, and he'll be coming on to the show. Since he's retired from DJing, he's been passing me off weddings. So the wedding that I did in May, the couple wanted me to do their wedding for $650, because at that time my price was about $1,000, $1,500 and all that, but they said they could only afford $650. So I cut cut them a deal. But see, with all the couples that are trying to book DJ Randy, they're all his old high school, students that's getting married now. So my thing, I think that I ran into with this last client was, and then he doesn't charge all that much as well. But my thing is, I have to go up on my prices. So when we start talking, and I avoided talking about prices. Then she finally asked me what is my price. So I told her I start at $2,000 because there's so many gigs that I go to that I felt that I definitely lowballed myself because like with the birthday party, I charged $250 for like a couple of hours or something. But I know they paid more than $250 for the golf. They was on one of those golf course things. I know they paid pretty money for that. And then the people and the entertainment that came in, I know they paid pretty money on that. So it's lately, I feel like I undercut myself. So with this client, I quoted my $2,000 price, and I told her that I can work with, wherever their means was. So I asked her what was her budget. So she said $1,000. And so I reluctantly said, okay, since you're being referred to from Randy to do him a solid, I'll try to work with that. And so I set up a consultation with her. But then when the consultation came, she texted me back and saying that she found another DJ that would do it for $600. Yeah. But here's the catch though. When we were talking on the phone, I told her I can work with that price, but it sounds like you just want just me to do the announcements, and I just do the music. It's not all the fancy lighting and all that extra stuff. But because we talked on Friday, and then we were supposed to do the consultation on Tuesday. So between Friday and Tuesday, she filled out my event questionnaire where she wanted the lights, and then she wanted a ceremony, then she wanted the reception and all that. And so I'm like, for $1,000, I still would work with her because I could still cut corners and still work with her. But when she did the $600, that just showed me right there, whoever's doing that for $600 and you're doing a ceremony and you're doing a reception, and then she's in Deerfield. And I'm thinking Deerfield is a nice little drive. It's not within an hour. I think it's going to take me more than an hour because I think it's closer to where Kevin is than where I'm at. So to travel to do that, and then I'm going to be leaving late at night trying to drive back, $600 would not cut it for me. But one thing, I wasn't upset when she said she found another DJ that can do it, a family friend on top of that can do it for $600. I wasn't mad because she said, because your price, even if you came down to $1,000, I respect your price. And I know that we couldn't meet where she wanted to spend. So therefore, I appreciate her, looking at me and valuing me and my services. So therefore, I wasn't upset about that. So yeah, I can't do the freebies anymore. I gotta start charging.
I feel the same way because when I lost the Buddy Walking Festival for the the Down Syndrome Society, I was pretty mad. I was like, this can't be right. They already messaged me back in May to see if I wanted, if I was interested in, being their DJ, but then they went on and chose another DJ. I was like, this can't be right. That can't be right.
People do have the right to change their minds, so don't even worry about it, Hunter. I had this is gonna be real quick. I had a bride group that wanted me to DJ. The mom was paying for the wedding. She called me up. I gave her my price. She's like, "Oh Jesus, Mike, I didn't think a wedding was that expensive." I said, "Listen, I'm probably one of your cheaper DJs around here. I'm giving you everything. A lot of DJs are a la carte. Everything's separated." So she found another DJ. She called me up. She goes, "This guy's gonna do for $500. Do you match his price?" I said, "There's no way. Book him. That's all." So a month later, I ran into the bride and groom, and they were like I thought the bride was gonna kick her mother right in the butt. This guy came in with a Kenwood home stereo system. Right?
Wow.
Yes. So the mother did ask, where are all your lights and everything that you have on your Facebook page? And he said, ma'am, that's just for promotional purposes only. This is what I have. And his 2 lights that he had on his table were from Walmart. So the mother did call me back up and she did apologize to me. And I said, well, you can't go by somebody's Facebook page. You gotta talk to them, see if they're DJing somewhere. Look, see if any of your friends are his friends on Facebook or whatever, or Instagram, whatever you're at, and then question before you hire a DJ. But she got totally burned. He messed up everything. So it was her bad. She wanted to go out the cheap way. She got out the cheap way, but basically ruined her daughter's wedding.
Mm-hmm. And so the chat goes, Kevin has said that he has a friend that DJs for little or nothing. And Crossfire said, heck no, free gigs are out. Ask them how much it would cost them to rent that stuff. And then he said, charities are a non-profit. They can afford it. Then Buddy says, Mike will DJ for drinks. He loves Coca-Cola.
I have to defend myself there. Mr. Buddy, I do not drink when I'm DJ. I'm a professional DJ. I am so sorry if you feel that way about me, but maybe you DJ for hot dogs. I don't DJ for drinks. I'm sorry.
And then Kevin says, when he wins the Powerball, then he'll do it for fun. And then he also said, I think live musicians do it next to free or for free drinks. And let me try to get this off my snap.
I see Travel. He made a comment about a bride in the wedding group shared a quote for a rental company, $550 for 2 speakers and a wireless microphone. I just had a bride and groom burn like that for their ceremony. The venue rented them 2 speakers and a beat up SM58, which was still a great microphone. It still worked perfect, for $500. The speakers were probably about 30 years old, 35 years old. They had no LXLR inputs. All they had is 1/4-inch and RCA inputs. You couldn't even read what went where. You couldn't see if it was in, out, what they were going to connect to, what they should have been connected to. So you got to watch these venues too, because they'll burn you too. That was a good point there that he made.
Yeah. With me being considered a cheap DJ, I still give them a really good service and I put on a really good show, no matter what.
Yep, I had to graduate from being the budget or cheap DJ. I can't do it anymore.
I'm the middle of the road DJ. Like most of my gigs start off at $2,500, depending what they want. But again, like I said, I do work with a lot of couples, especially if I know they don't have the money, and I know them. Like that couple I knew personally, and they didn't cater it; they cooked everything themselves. So when you know somebody like that, they're really down and out, but they still want to have a nice wedding. You gotta cave in a little bit. But if it's some couple that you don't know and they're just fishing and they want a cheap price because of this, it's like, wait a second, I do a lot of research through the computer and I find out information about the couple or whatever, about the future husband, about the future bride, and then I come back at them. I don't say what the information I found out about them, but I tell them, listen, this is my price. I can't go no lower. Take it or leave it. If you want to go to another DJ, that's fine with me. I'm not good. I don't beg for gigs. I'm sorry. I set my price, but I will work with people. That's, plain and simple. with anything. I mean, you take your car to mechanics. Sometimes the mechanic will work with you, sometimes they won't. But most of the time, if it's a mechanic that owns his own garage and he's his own proprietor, and you've been going to him for a while, he's going to cut your brakes here and there. That's the same way with me. If I have return customers, I will work with them like you wouldn't believe.
Right. And then Crossfire also said, stick to your guns. If I choose to peacock my rig, then I want to do it. Those who don't argue about my price are more than likely to get an amazing setup. And then he went on to say, if they try and talk you down, then get a basic setup. Because that's what I was going to do with the last client. But I guess my services, they couldn't meet me as my skill level. Kevin said, yep, agree to non-dancers are everywhere. And then Crossbar said they dance, they butt dance in their cheers.
Yeah.
That goes back to your Baby Shark.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get caught up. I DJ more events than weddings. And Kevin said he's not familiar with Deerfield, but it's down. It's like it's a nice little drive. I don't know how my Mr. Wilburn was driving from school, from his house to his school, and it was a nice little drive. I can drive that, especially with the Cleveland weather and all that, because it takes them a good, I think, 90 to almost 2 hours to drive. And then Crossfire said, people take you more serious if you charge well. The point of mine is the going rate for audio rental system is $500 plus. Every DJ should be charging at least that. When you hear they are doing the food themselves, suspect they want low dollars. Yep, and that's that's the impression I got with the clients that I did for that Sunday wedding in May.
Well, for everyone who's in the chat, it's not always like that because when I was DJing the 5th grade dance at Carolina Forest Elementary, they wanted a price lower than what I usually charge. So I was like, sure, why not? As long as I get the gig, it doesn't really matter how much you charge me. It doesn't really matter.
So how much was it? If you're only charging 50?
It was like it was in the hundreds or so, because the 50 an hour does add up to like $400, $500 for the entire night if it's a 4-hour gig. So they wanted lower, like $100 up for like total, and I was like, sure, why not?
Okay.
You know, it's better than nothing.
Yep, it was a Sunday one. That's why after I felt funny talking to her on the phone, but then once we did the Zoom and I got to see her and know her and talk to them as a couple, and then also talk to Mr. Wilburn about them and got a better, I guess you could say, perception of what I was dealing with, I did them a solid.
Everybody see my little girlfriend here?
And he said they tried to get off Prime Day Saturday. Yep. Also, off season, they say, with the venue. And then their relative was part of the VFW hall. So she got a break on that as well. But you could tell that they had to cut a lot of corners. There were telltale signs there. So,
you know what? What I noticed with venues now, you never do I hear them say, "This is our off season." venues today, like back 10 years ago, they did have an off season. But ever since COVID more or less destroyed this whole world that we live in, now venues, you never hear them say, "Oh, this is our off season, so we're taking, funeral brunches, we're taking this, we're taking that, we're grabbing anything we could grab." Today people are getting married on a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday. They're everything has changed so much since COVID. It's been unbelievable. Weddings, I know people leave early. I don't know what it is. Is it the fear that's in their mind about COVID yet? Because I seen reports COVID's making us come back again. I mean, COVID has been here well before we had this epidemic, and it's still going to be here no matter what. But it has changed the world. It has changed the DJ world. It changed the whole economic structure of our world today.
And then Kevin said the venues down where he is, they have off-season rates. Because I never really looked at it. I never really looked at the venues like that.
Hey, we had not a couple. We had a lot of things around here that say, well, but it's our off season, so we are cutting different breaks here and there. And now today, there's no off season. I'm like, wow, okay, this is great. No off season for you guys. That means no off season for me either.
And then he went on to say, heck, one had a 50% off rate for one day only to get more bookings. Yep. And then we have another one, DJ Night Owl. If they lowballing you much, they have zero respect for you and the profession. And if you're willing to do the gig that cheap, you also have zero respect for the profession and yourself. Yeah, because that's the kind of stance. I know for me it's hard, but at the same time I know that's something that I gotta start doing if I want to. Because it's just like what DJ Reese said. He'd rather work less gigs and get paid more as opposed to doing a bunch of small gigs. Because, like, for example, the thing I did for my church where I had to set up the sound and run the stream, Sunday I was out. I was out Sunday. I didn't really get into the folder thing until Monday night. So, like, these gigs are starting, I'm getting older, so these gigs are starting to have an impact on my body, moving all this stuff around. So, yeah, that's why I got to start taking that into account. Huh?
Wait to get my age.
Hopefully, they'll have the little lightweight stuff.
Yeah, I know. But I did pick up a cart that can carry up to 500 pounds. It has a nice little area underneath where I could put my speaker stands. I could put some tube lighting, or I could put some other lighting underneath there. If I need some other stands for my lighting, I could slide them underneath there because it's 52 inches long, I think it is. And it's remarkable, and I paid it was $99 for this cart. The wheels are 4 inches in diameter. And it's so light, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a comment from Crossfire says, please start charging minimum $100 per hour. Cool thing. You will thank me later. I don't think so, because I still get money from disability, and I don't want to overcharge my family and friends since that's only who I DJ for, and lose my disability money.
Yep.
And it's
cool thing. That's one thing I will not be discussing. Cool thing.
Huh?
That's one thing I will not be discussing here on YouTube. That's a personal matter.
And
some stuff you have to leave personal.
Yep. And then Crossfire came in late.
Yeah.
So before we go to the next slide, Crossfire, you missed this one. We did the whole segment on the stuck in their ways DJs. So just keep that in
I'm
mind.
glad you didn't make that DJ bald because it would look like me.
Oh yeah, 'cause I guess AI didn't know. Oh no, AI has your picture from when we did the Men in Black.
Yep. That's a cool picture, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they remind these pictures remind me of the Monopoly kind of images.
Yes, they do. They do.
So let's get to the next one. The next kind of person you should watch in your circle is this one.
How do you manage to stay so calm? Simple. I always ignore what idiots say and I just tell them, you're right. But that's ridiculous. You're right.
All right. So you got to always watch out for the drama starter. The ones that like to gossip, the ones that like to instigate, the ones that like to keep a lot of drama going. Because sometimes their drama, you don't even have to be involved. Their drama end up being your drama. Or just because you're with them, you get associated and pulled into their drama. So if you have one of those people in your group, you might want to consider cutting them off. And if you're one of those people in the group, you might want to kind of like check yourself because it's easy. It's just like in wrestling. You see it all the time. Factions come to the wrestling ring and the leader will talk all this stuff because he has his whole group behind him. Then eventually the group bags off. And then it's a totally different story. You'll find yourself all alone. So, any thoughts?
One thought. Never cast stones in a glass house.
Mm-hmm. And then Crossfire said, DJ, stay fluid like oil, not the glue.
That's true. That is so true. It's unbelievable.
All right, let's go on to the next one. See if we can pick up some. Now, this is the one. Should be a good one. What about this one?
I have one word in answer to what you just asked me.
No! How about a big no?
What about the DJ? Here it is. You put in all the work, and here they just starting, and they want you to give them your hard drive to copy music. They want your mailing list. They want all your resources without them having to put in the work and creating their own path.
Oh, I got a lot to say about this.
And this one is called the Energy Vampire.
The ones who bark geared. You time.
Wow.
Yeah. I've had this happen before because someone, I guess when I was live on my other channel saying, can I have some of your music? Can I have some of your music? No. I worked so hard to build this playlist, and I'm not going to give you anything.
You know you didn't say that. It was more like, no. I had it up to here. Get your own. No. You try to act like you said it all calm and stuff. You know you didn't say it.
I did.
Honestly, I mean, when people start asking for my music, my playlist, contact list, I just look at them. I tell them, listen, I'm not retired. I'm not pushing up daisies. That music, that playlist, I built by myself. Part of becoming a DJ, you got to grow. One thing, these new DJs that are coming in, there's a lot of stuff that's on the radio. It's number one. It's this and that. It's a great hit. It's a great song. Blah, blah, blah. It may be a great song. It may be a great hit. But guess what? You drop that song at a wedding and it clears the dance floor. It's like, oh, what happened? It's not a danceable song. Some stuff that you have might be from the past, might be from the 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. You drop that sign, man, it fills the dance floor. I mean, people relate to certain music, and you just got to remember, you know, it sounds like, oh, you're playing stuff from the past, or you're repetitive, you're this, you're that. You got to play what works. And the one thing I notice, a lot of these newer DJs are on the microphone a lot. You know, hey, all right, yo, raise your hands up, yeah, shake this or do that or do this. You know, that is, in my eyes, a no-no.
Yeah,
you're not a radio DJ. I'm sorry. You're not a disc jockey that's on the air. You're a wedding DJ or a graduation party DJ, whatever. Graduation party DJ, you can get away with that a little bit more. But when you're doing a wedding, they're paying you for a service that they want to hear music.
Definitely.
And they don't want to hear you gabbing on the microphone. You're not there to gab on the microphone. Now, I sit down and I have meetings with clients, and I tell them point blank, I will talk your ear off now. When I come to DJ your wedding, you're gonna look at me and say, "What happened to your tongue? You're not talking. What's going on here?" You know, I say my announcements. I say what I have to say. If I'm asked to dismiss the tables, I will do that. If the bride and groom come and say, "Hey, you know, Mike, check out Joe, or he's really danced up a storm. He never really dances." Throw out a shout out to Joe. Yeah, no problem. I will do anything for my bride and groom. If somebody in their inner circle, their family comes up and asks me to do something, I don't. I go check with the bride and groom first before I do it. I want to get the okay. Because the only two bosses I listen to that night are the bride and groom. I don't care if it's the mom, the dad, whoever. I have a contract. Whoever name is on that contract, they are the only people I listen to. If mom and dad signed the contract too, yeah, then I will listen to the mom and dad. But if it is just a bride and groom, that's the only two I listen to. So going back to these people that want your playlist and this and that, you work hard to do this stuff. You're working hard putting the cue points in, this, that. No, that's a no. I will.
Yeah, here's
I'd probably be like, cool thing. I'd be like,
yeah,
no,
because I worked hard on those playlists. I subscribe to these record pools. I get them for my CD collection, and I put the time and the work in. And this is what every DJ should do as well. Subscribe to a record pool, get your old CD collection out, rep them to your computer, and build your DJ library yourself.
What's the newest playlist you built?
Well, right now, I mean,
wait. I need you to send me a copy of it, okay, please?
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on, man.
You know when you on your live, you do not do that. You go, no, I had it up here. These DJs. I'm gonna end this live right here. Let me end it right now. No.
But I took care of him, Dwayne. His DMX went out, and he needed DMX, and who sent you DMX?
I would have bought one myself because
but I sent it to you. I didn't say no. I love you, buddy.
Yeah.
You're my friend. It will always help out a friend.
So in the chat, before we move on, Crossfire said he has a slingshot for his glass house. I have a bulletproof glass. When people throw stones, I love their stories they say about me. And then Adrian E's in the house. Welcome to the show, Adrian E.
Hey, Adrian E.
And then Crossfire said, come on, help a brother out. Send me a copy of your hard drive. We're friends. And then he went to the capital, no. And then Night Owl is laughing. And then Buddy says, can I get a set of speakers for this weekend? I need them for my gig. I also need a playlist for a wedding. Can I get your last one? And then he laughs, I can give you my playlist, but see, your instrument price tag taste is too rich for the kind of gear that I have. I can't afford those big speakers you like to rock, so I can't help you there.
No. Yeah, I can't help you there as well.
I can.
And then
I can help
Adrian
him.
E says, send them to Matt. Matt would help them out. And then Crossfire said, I seen a meme last week. Every DJ not playing at your gig has some recording device to copy your set. Mm-hmm.
I did see that actually. I seen it wasn't it was at a wedding, and I knew the other guy was a DJ, but he didn't go up and talk to the DJ that was DJing the wedding. He had his wife, like he went up to talk to him, but he had his wife go behind the DJ area because this venue, like you could walk behind the DJ, and she was back there. She just taking pictures of what they were playing. Like, man, listen, be creative. You know, that's all you have to do is be creative. I mean, nobody could teach you how to DJ. They could teach you how to use the equipment, but to actually DJ, there's not. It's like art. Nobody could teach you to be an artist. They could do some perfections on what you can do. That's about it. You know, so DJing is an art. Pen and ink, like I love to do, is an art. I had an instructor, a professor in school. He hated pen and ink, but he taught me stuff that he did for oil painting, which I could relate over to pen and ink. So he taught me some stuff, but he could not teach me the exact thing for pen and ink. So again, DJing is an art. I can't teach somebody how to DJ. I could show them how to use the equipment, and they have to learn that on their own. I'm sorry. I just, give them pointers. Hey, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink,
Yep. And then Kelvin says his playlist self-destructs in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Kevin, is that a PDF playlist?
All right, let's get to the next one. This is the one that I was wrestling with.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a teacher thing in me.
And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
Who's that guy?
I did. Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity.
So this is what I'm wrestling with. Being the saver of everyone, being everything to everyone. And everybody's pulling you from all different directions. It could be money, it could be emotional, it could be just being a resource. And it says crew members or associates who want to be you to be everything for them. Their promoter, their teacher, their manager, and their therapist. And it's like you try to be helpful, but then you get to a point where you gotta start asking yourself, are you an enabler? Or are you really helping them to move forward and to learn to be more self-reliant on themselves?
Yeah. Yeah, my thoughts on this is that, this also pertains to our YouTube channels. It's like we're trying to help people out, and sometimes they want us to do this or do that. How do you do this? How do you do that? It's like we can't do everything at one time. It just, it's confusing. It's nerve-wracking.
Well, I thought I was waiting for your right hand to start going up. Yeah.
What it is, your brain can only process so much at one given point in time. If you overload it with too much stuff, I don't care if it's DJing, creating videos, taking pictures, whatever. You start overloading your brain, you are going to get yourself so burnt out. You're not going to want to DJ. You're not going to want to do this. You're not going to want to do that. And, you get up and go to work every day. You got to go. Yeah, you get up and you're moaning and groaning. You get to work, you punch in, boom, you're working.
Yeah.
You're a DJ. or you're a photographer or whatever. You're your own. You're self-employed. You have to motivate yourself to do stuff, and people don't get that. I'm my own boss. Yeah, you're your own boss, but if you don't get stuff done, that person that was 3 steps behind you now has passed you up, and guess what? You were looking up at him, and like Dwayne, this series, like you're saying, I mean, you do so much for this channel. It's unbelievable. I can't thank you enough. I have programs here. I know I could. I have it. I've done it before in the past, but my hands right now, I'm burning the candle at both ends. Taking care of my mom. It's just, she. It takes a lot of time and effort to take care of her, and then I am up late. I'm getting up early. I just like some nights I'm pulling my hair out that I don't have, but me personally, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you do, not just for me, for all the DJs that are here in the chat, for what we share on YouTube. You are the best, man, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
No problem.
It's like when I do my show. It's like I gotta come up with the ideas. I gotta hit record, and sometimes I mess up and I have to re-record, and it just takes forever. And sometimes I'm always wondering if people are even going to tune into my show. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it goes back to just like what Brian has said about DJing. It's about first being a lover of music, but you got first also love what you're doing, because at least if you love what you're doing, you're gonna keep doing it. But if you're looking for validation from outside sources will let you down. So just keep in mind, if you're doing it for the love of, for your sake, then eventually the people will come.
Yes. I mean, you have to keep a balance in your life. You cannot let one thing overpower another. You cannot push your family aside for your DJ business. You cannot push your DJ business away because of your family or whatever business you're in. You have to find a balance there between your DJ life or your business that you're doing. Photography, you could be a mason, laying brick, whatever. With anything in life, even just going to work. I mean, I know guys that work every ounce of overtime. They wouldn't take a vacation. They'd sell their time back to the company because they were in their mind, they were going to save this company. They're going to do this, and they're going to keep the company going. And guess what? The place I worked at, closed their doors up, moved out of the area. That was it. So you as a DJ have to sit back and have a plan of attack. Say, okay, this day, I'm going to do this. There's going to be days that you're going to get phone calls for DJing, for this or for that, or questions about music or questions about lighting, whatever. So yeah, you have to bend the rules a little bit, but you can't be somebody's savior. You can't be leading them around and helping them to the point that you're actually doing the work for them and they're sitting back collecting a check for it. No, that's a no-no. Hey, you want to be a DJ? Yeah, I'll help you out. I'll give you some pointers. But it's time that you stand on your own 2 feet. Before you walk, you have to crawl. So your crawling is learning the DJ business and learning how to maybe making cue points and doing this and doing that, different little things with DJing, not talking on the microphone a lot, doing not using the effects that much, different little things, not quick mixing all night long, not playing the song all the way through all night long. There's different things, there's different points of DJing that you have to learn, and if somebody's willing to teach you them, accept that. but don't expect them to lead you around by the nose or by the hand. Say, okay, now this is what we're going to do now. Now this is what we're going to do now. And then, at the end of the night, they're the ones that are collecting the money. They're going to say, hey, Mike, thanks. Thanks for helping me out tonight, man. They go, well, yeah, no problem. And then the next gig and the next thing, then finally you're sitting back and going, well, Jesus, I'm the one who's doing all the work for these people, and they're collecting the money. You don't want to be mean to them, but you just say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't be there tonight. And that's when you find out if they're a true friend or not. Because 9 times out of 10, that guy is going to burn his bridges with you 1, 2, 3. You might not hear from them for 6, 7 months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, and then they're going to blame you for their downfall because you didn't help them no more. No, you didn't want to, that person didn't want to go out and learn and go out and do it on his own,
And then before we go to the next slide, because I think people still didn't catch that first slide. Not that one. That one.
Me too, buddy. I'm still crawling, pal.
Yep. Remember that slide? And I got it on full screen for you. You can't make somebody do something that you only can control yourself. You can't make somebody do something that they're not willing to do. So there's no reason to keep digging. So just remember this slide. Maybe I put that highlight and pin it on our Facebook group page.
Yeah,
if a person is stuck in their ways, then they're stuck in their ways. There's nothing you can really do or say. And the only thing that's doing is just draining energy from you and wasting your breath. So that's all I can say about that.
When they're stuck in the mud, they're stuck in the mud, and there's nothing, no tow truck that pulled them out.
Yep. And I see Diego is in the house. The Ruckus.
Pretty boy, how you doing?
Hey, DJ Pretty Boy, what's up?
And before we go to the next one, going back to the needy DJ or the needy person, this is how you got to treat them. First of all, you got to make sure you have set boundaries for them. Because if you don't set boundaries, they're going to just continue to drain and take from you. So
yes,
this makes me think of the Bugs Bunny cartoon with the mother buzzard. This is how you have to do those needy DJs.
My mama told me.
Why, killer, what are you waiting for? Get a move on. Get going.
Go get your own DJ gigs.
No, I don't wanna. No.
Go out there and find your own music.
Well, at least go out and get a little rabbit or something.
You don't need me to sit in your clients' phone calls with you. So eventually, those needy DJs, you just need to push them out there and let them find out and learn on their own. Because most of them won't sync. They'll eventually do just like this buzzard. They'll take off and start flying. But you got to cut that umbilical cord so they can learn and be self-sufficient.
I had a couple of DJs. They didn't ask me for my music. They didn't ask me for my playlist. They didn't ask me too many personal questions about DJing, but they asked me 2 things. Can I have a copy of your wedding planner, and can I have a copy of your contract? I'm like, excuse me? Well, do you have the Word document so I can retype it, put my name in? Because we like the way your contract is. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I worked on this myself. I talked to attorneys. I researched a lot of stuff. And, talked to different DJs. Listen, I'm not going to hand over my contract to you and just give it to you. I'm so sorry. I do have a contract on my Wix website, which I haven't updated in years. So if they want to copy that one, I go to town because that's totally obsolete from what I have now. So That shocked me when they asked me, "Can I have a copy of your contract? I love the way you did your wedding plan. Can I have a copy of that too?" I'm like, I swear to God, I will change the name up. Yeah, of course, because you go by DJ Steve, you're not gonna keep DJ Mikey Mike on it, you know. You're just gonna mail the check to me. I'll take the check. That's no problem, you know.
Yeah, personally, I would. Yeah, I've shared my like stuff like that, the contract or format on my timeline because that's what DJ Randy did for me as well. Because if they're taking it and they're going to, you know, make modifications anyway, it's like I don't see where that is such a big deal. It's like it goes back to the mentoring things. When you have somebody that asks for help, like little stuff like that, I can see you giving them a guideline, and then or when you do your timeline, give them a copy of the timeline to explain how to do a wedding correctly. So I could see, I wouldn't hold that as sacred as giving them my hard drive.
Well, the thing is, like when Diego and Shay were on our show, and they called it their oh my God, I can't even think of the word right now. I was copping so much I had to tip my tongue and must have cop rap, but I call it a retainer. And you know, I share that with them. You know, and I will share. I will help if people show me their contract. I'll point out different things. I will, hey, you should change this, change that. You got to protect yourself. You know, so that's one thing there. But I won't just hand my contract over to them. I'm sorry. That's, to me, that's personal. You know.
Yeah, personally, with this, I never experienced this. I always look for my own gigs. Like I look on other social media platforms where my friends and family are, and I always see if they need a DJ. And you know, I never really look for a gig that's already being booked from another DJ and see if I can have that. Or I never get asked if, you know, if someone can have my gigs or anything else like that. I mean, the only thing people ask me for is my music, and I just tell them no.
All right, and then Kevin said, yeah, you could find it online now. Because a lot of this stuff you can get online, and with Chat GPT, there's a lot of resources that you can get copies. But give them a copy of the way I do my contracts. This, to me, is no big thing.
Well, I'll tell you, you get copies online, but you don't know what state they're coming from. So I do have an attorney on retainer. I have him look over the contract and go from there because, again, you don't know what state that contract was created in. Every state has their own different laws, so you really want to protect yourself. Take it if you have an attorney, or even if you have a friend that's an attorney. I'm sure he or she will look at it, and then they give you, you know, hey, take this out, change this, change that. Again, because every state's different, and you want to protect yourself. I mean, you want to protect your equipment, everything. That's one thing that you have to do. One major factor that we really never really brought it up on the show. If we did, was very short and sweet, but DJ insurance. I mean, every DJ should have insurance to cover their equipment, cover if somebody gets injured. Don't be foolish not to have it. Get it. Most venues require to have a liability insurance. And don't cheap out on it because it's just going to burn you in the end. It's not that expensive, liability insurance. Get it, protect yourself, and go from there.
You led right into this next slide of the kind of person you should try to avoid to have in your inner circle. And that's why insurance is important, especially if you're doing this kind of thing. That's the kind of person you don't want to have somebody that make those kind of decisions. You don't want to have them in your crew.
I mean that is, and DJs are out there that are actually doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's reckless DJs, definitely, yes.
Yep. So a reckless DJ, even though I showed that person not using good judgment, but the whole visual I want to show from that incident was a reckless DJ is someone who is reckless either online by posting or saying things that is over the top or insulting people, or a reckless DJ is a person that always, again, act out of emotion. Instead of acting, they're reacting. And they make something that's really not a big deal, and then they compound it by the way their actions on top of that, and being very reckless on how they communicate with people and things they put out into the universe.
Well, some people speak before they think. Now, sit back. I mean, I'm guilty of this, believe me. Because somebody gets under my toenails, believe me, I'm coming back and I'm firing with all my guns. I am not holding back. I don't care if they ever talk to me again in my lifetime. But I will stand my ground. If I know I'm right, I'm protecting myself, or they might be talking about a friend. I'm protecting my friend. I'm going to stand my ground, and I will protect my friends. But a lot of times you have to think before you speak. And, if it's not an insulting comment or a discrimination comment, something like that, if it's something stupid about somebody's equipment, or, that they're not DJing the right way, I sit back and I think, and, how can I answer this that this DJ could see how he is hurting this other person with his words, and you think of it, and he might, instead of posting it online, send him or her an inbox. Say, hey, listen, how about backing off a little bit? You're really slaughtering this person for no reason at all. Like I say, I belong to that bad DJ setup, and people are crucifying people because of wires shown, because of this, because of that. Go to see a live band, like a local live band. Guess what? There's wires all over the place. They're playing music. We're playing music. Why do we have to be so neat and prim and proper? When they show up, I see bands coming to weddings with torn jeans, a shirt that looked like it wasn't washed in 3 weeks, and a tie-on. But we as a DJ have to show up with a suit or a sport coat or a shirt, dress pants, dress shoes on, have all our wires tucked underneath everything, because if we don't, somebody's going to look and say, oh, geez, look, that's a hipping, tripping hazard, this and that. Yeah, it is. I make sure I get my stuff taped down, try to tuck everything, hide everything as best I can. But again, I don't criticize somebody for not hiding that wire, not taping that wire down. I may say, send them an inbox instead of crucifying them on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. Send them a little inbox. Say, hey, dude, or hey, whatever, it might be a female DJ. Say, listen, you should have taped those wires down, or you shouldn't let this person back behind the booth. I noticed you had a couple of people back there behind your booth, and the one person was drinking. What happens if that person spills that drink and it goes all over your equipment? They might be standing by your hard drives. That alcohol and that hard drive ain't gonna mix. Boom, they're gonna fry up your hard drive, and guess what? It might be in the beginning of your gig. It might be in the beginning of the wedding. Now, what do? So you have to think and explain it to the people that are making these stupid remarks and belittling this DJ or whatever profession they're in. Sit back, think, and say, well, you know what? Maybe they're just starting out DJing. And I look back at pictures when I first started out DJing. I had wires all over the place. I look back, I'm like, man, was I foolish? You know, but again, I was starting out. I didn't know better. Yeah, there was YouTube, but I really didn't know YouTube that good. I didn't know about searching and looking about DJs and stuff like that. Now I do. I try to inspire DJs. I try to give them pointers. Now, hey, dude, you don't have to buy the most expensive gaff tape, but pick up some gaff tape, tape your wires down. Bring a rug from home. Bring a rubber mat. You can pick the wires in like that rubber mat. I mean, there's so many different things you could help them with. It's unbelievable. One thing that, honestly, I see DJs, they set their equipment and they have their speakers on their stands, and their stands. I'm 6'3". My son's 6'4", and when he sets my setup for me, the base of the speaker is at the top of his forehead. So those speakers are up in the air 7 feet. They're not 4.5 feet up in the air, only blasting somebody right in the face at a wedding reception. My son, he does it, and I mean, I didn't teach him that. He just picked that up on his own, and I get so many compliments. You know, Mike, the music was loud, it was great, but it wasn't bleeding, making our ears bleed. It was up above our heads. We could hear it so great, you know. So be kind to people. Life is too short. That's all I gotta say. Life is too short. Be kind.
So are you referring to other DJs, or are you referring to a DJ that's in your crew?
I'm referring to anybody that's a nigger son of a SOB. Anybody. I don't care if it's in the chat here, it's in our group, whatever. Life is too short. You could be here today and gone tomorrow. We could be sitting here on the show right now, and 10 minutes from now, I may go walk downstairs and I might not be here ever again. So again, people, be kind to everybody. You have to stick up for yourself, defend yourself. Yes. I mean, like before, Buddy made a comment that I would do gigs for drinks. No, I don't do that. That's why I came back and I defended myself, saying that he would DJ for hot dogs. You know, so was it ignorant on my part for defending myself? I don't think so, because I think what he said was an ignorant comment to me.
Yeah. This is the sticky situation.
Yeah, it is. You have to be kind to people and love people, and don't let people walk all over you either.
Yeah, it's not. You don't have to to me, you got to be careful. Going back to the reckless DJ thing, to kind of, my pastor would end a lot of the church services by saying that we're brothers and sisters. We don't walk alone. What you send out into the world, come back into your own. So if somebody makes stupid comments, it's like you going back and forth, and you all just going back and forth saying hateful things to each other. I don't see where you come into a peaceful resolution because you're going back and forth. Because sometimes, going back to my point, was sometimes if things are below you, responding back, you're stooping down to that person's level. And sometimes it's either don't address it or definitely don't go back to having a tit for tat. That goes back to this whole thing, right?
That's why I said I'm guilty of it also, because sometimes I go off the handle, and maybe I shouldn't have said that before, but I did. I mean, maybe I could just address it a different way. See, that's what I'm saying. You have to sit back and think. Now I'm sitting back and thinking, maybe I shouldn't have said that. You know, who looks as a bigger person? Person that didn't respond, probably. So that's what I'm saying. I was guilty. I am guilty of it. I mean, I don't think there's anybody out there that's like guilty of blurting something out because they feel like they were intimidated or hurt.
Yeah,
We're all human, and we sometimes we just respond too quick. And like your pastor said, yeah, we walked together on this land. I don't know how he said it exactly, but we walk hand in hand on this land together. And we all bleed the same blood. We all should love each other.
Yeah, we're
Be
all
kind to each other.
Yeah, we're all God's children. We're all created equally, we're all created equally. I'm guilty of that as well because there's been a lot of times where I blew up as well, but I don't mean anything by it. I'm not a mean guy or I'm not a mean guy. I don't mean anything by it. I'm just sometimes I get aggravated real easy. It's part of my disability. It's part of who I am, and something I can't control.
Hey, dude, look what I did before. I just boom, firecracker.
Yeah, and I regret saying some of the things I said before in the past, even throughout the last 7 years being a DJ. And I regret. And for those of you who are watching, and if I was mean to you or anything, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything by it. I just get
Hunter, I accept your apology.
I'm talking about the people in the chat because I didn't do anything to you.
I know. That's why I said I love you, man.
But that's what I was going to get to, because the whole thing is we all are human. We all make mistakes. Sometimes we joke with each other and we're thinking we're, playing, but the other person doesn't perceive that as you're playing. But the thing is, when we make mistakes, the quicker you just fess up and show accountability to your mistake and not only apologize, but to me, a apology means more if you show action after you apologize. So if you apologize for doing something, that means you need to start showing a effort into not letting that situation happen again. Because if you apologize and then go right back and do the same thing again, then it falls on deaf ears.
Yeah. See, as a DJ who is trying to be supportive and trying to be a good person, sometimes it doesn't work, for certain people.
But Buddy wanted to see my ice cold Coca-Cola. Buddy, I'm drinking Lipton iced tea tonight. I didn't have no Coke tonight.
But at the same time, you shouldn't have snapped at Buddy, because he just gave you some of the same medicine that you had gave him for the last 2 weeks in the chat on his channel. So it was a tit for tat.
Yeah. Me? I never.
Oh yeah, because you have a burner account. You have all them fake accounts and stuff going on.
I didn't tell you I'm bipolar. So that was the other Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just teasing. Yeah, I know. I like to bust. I like to bust humps here and there, and but DJ, I would DJ for drinks. I mean, okay, it's over and done. But that's one thing. I hate when I see a DJ up there drinking, especially at a wedding. I've seen them destroy weddings, and it's like, why? They play I seen the one DJ, he played the same song 3 times in a row. And it was the Macarena, How can you play the Macarena 3 times in a row? He didn't know. He was drunk. Like, that kills me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just on YouTube I blow up at. I remember getting so stressed out and aggravated at a thing called Night to Shine, and there was one guy that I just got so mad at. I told him not to come on the stage and not to even come near me, to walk away. And I was almost blew out my vocal cords because I was screaming to the top of my lungs.
Yeah, that's why you need to kind of like, again, the whole reasoning behind this episode was to take a look at our inner circles. Or if you don't have an inner circle, start looking at pieces to kind of like either diffuse a situation before it happens, but when it happens, somebody that can come in and step in and bring everything back in order, or someone that can deflect and, help you not be in those situations. So that's why it's important that you make sure you have the right pieces in your inner circle. And Kevin said,
Yes,
alcohol sucks, pop rules.
Yes, pop does rule. Not too, no diet pop, regular pop. My
And
brother learned a lesson from that. His both kidneys failed on him. He had to get a kidney transplant.
And DJ Night Owl said, yep, he agreed with, if you're not going to be sincere and show some action behind your apologies, then it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. See, personally, I always do that as well. Like sometimes I would say sorry and we're cool. Like it'll never happen again.
But then you got to make sure it doesn't happen again. And then the Ruckus was saying next week on their show, they're doing review DJ setup reviews. So if anybody here want to send out their snapshot, their setup pictures to La Ruckus Inc., and I'll make sure I show their YouTube handle at the end. You can send them DM your pictures of your setup.
Oh yeah, I'll send them. I'll be sure to send them my setup. So so Diego, if you want to review my setup, you can. I'll send you my setup after the show.
Yeah, my setup is like music to my setup to me is like music is to Erykah Badu. I'm sensitive about my stuff, so don't make me cry. And Chin Chillin is in the house.
Yes.
And I want to show this one more time. Keep showing this. Just remember there's some people, those that came in, remember, and I'll put this on the big screen again. If you see that a person is stuck in their ways, it's no use to keep going back to the forth fighting with them. They're going to continue to do them. You cannot change them. You only can change your behavior, your mindset, and the things that you do.
Yes.
So,
yeah, that's the truth. Sometimes it's just better off to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Not sometimes, about 90% of the times it's better off to walk away. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. And
Sure.
You don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. And that I guess I am guilty of that. There's no ifs, ands, buts about that. Again, we're human. We all make mistakes.
Definitely.
But the thing is, we got to learn from those mistakes. If we keep on making the same stupid mistakes over and over and over again, guess what? We're not learning from them. We know we're getting away with them. And once
and I swear on my honor to be a more supportive, loving, caring DJ, even if I return to the round table pretty soon, if it's okay with me. I swear on my honor.
But see, the thing is, because I was going to try to not ignore the question, but if you kind of like see the chat, there's some people that still have hurt feelings, and you got to make sure you do right with them, because it's not just the people that's here. There's a lot of people that was hurt by what had took place. So just make sure you reach out and make sure you try to amend the relationship. But at the same time, you can't make somebody do something. You only can control your behavior. So if they don't accept your apology, the only thing you can do is just apologize and just try to do better. But yeah, there's other hurt feelings. So it's going to take some time. Because just like Joel Osteen has said, for every negative comment or behavior that you do to somebody, that's all that they're going to remember. So it takes a good 5, maybe even 10 good experiences before they forget about that one bad experience. So it's going to take some time. So it's not anything you're going to be rushed, but the one thing that you can do right now is to make sure that you back up what you're apologizing for. Because you apologize and it happens again, then they're going to be like, yeah, we told you. So just make sure or try to put things in place so you don't hulk out and hulk smash.
The thing is, DJ Cool Thing, don't just apologize and say, I'm going to be a better DJ. I'm going to just say, hey, I'm going to apologize. I'm going to be a better person. Like I said, I'm guilty of a lot of stuff. The one thing I'm not guilty of, I never committed murder. I never committed crimes against other people. You know, it's just me neither. I love life, and again, like I said, the life is too short. I sat back and I thought yesterday, my mother's father died when he was 56. My father died when he was 58. My uncle died when he was 59. I'm 60, so I outlived all of them. My uncle, I'm hoping, I don't know if I'm going to outlive him. I doubt it. My godfather, he's 87. He's a retired state trooper. He's still driving a little bit, but not much anymore. So thank God for that, because he got a couple little fender benders. But life is too short. You think of 87 years, you think of 89 years, you think, you see people 100, 105 years old. That's nothing. 105 years old, 70, 80 years old, that's nothing. 70 years old is only 10 years away from me. 70 years, 100 years, that's a drop in a bucket of what mankind has been on this earth. And, you have to practice what you preach and live like you want, like, how can I say, you're going to live your life as you want people to treat you, you treat them the same way back. If they come on to you as hard and being ignorant and this and that, don't be hard and ignorant to them. Just walk away from them. Turn your back. Like what in the Bible, I know I'm not very proficient in the Bible, but somebody slaps you in the cheek, give them the other cheek. That's it. And eventually they stop. It does hurt you. That's why I say sometimes it's just better off just to walk away. And who turns out to be the bigger person? You do. Again, going back, I just want to relate this to the DJ scenario. You got these DJs that they have all this big shiny equipment. I always say all that glitters isn't gold. I mean, just because you got these equipment doesn't mean you could charge us an enormous price. Not every client wants everything like that. Not every client could afford everything like that. Just be a DJ. Be happy with what you're doing. If you're happy DJing for $100, that's you. That I'm happy for you because you're happy doing it. You're putting a smile on people's faces. I mean, would I DJ for $100 a day? No, there's no possible way. Would I DJ for $200? No, there's no possible way. But there was a time and point when I first started out. Yeah, I was DJing for $100. I didn't care. I wanted to DJ. I wanted to learn. I wanted to grow. And I understand your situation. You're just dealing with an inner circle that you DJ for. I wanted to grow. I DJ New Jersey, New York, out towards Williamsport, down in Philadelphia, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. I mean, I've been all over basically the Northeastern, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York. And I'm 60. I want to slow down a little bit. I have to slow down a little bit. My body's telling me to slow down a little bit. My mind knows I can still do this stuff. I know how to do it, but my body's like, uh-oh, dude, you're pushing yourself a little too far now, So you got to learn to just live life Be happy. As long as you're happy at what you're doing, keep doing it your way. But if somebody slams you with an ignorant comment, if somebody slams me with an ignorant comment, I try to turn a cheek. There's times I don't. Like tonight, I didn't. And buddy, I'm sorry for what I said, but I just had to defend myself on that one because that's one thing. My father was an alcoholic. Everybody on my father's side were alcoholics. So when somebody mentions something about drinking to me, it's like, oh, wait a second. I fly up the handle with that one. That is, I get very defensive with that. And buddy, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to say you hot dogs without no onions because I know you don't like onions, pal. But I just want to say, people, DJs, we don't not just DJs, everybody in life, you got to love each other. I don't want to keep preaching that. Love each other and be kind to each other. That kindness kills so much. It's unbelievable. A smile. Somebody might come out and say, you're an a-hole. You turn around, you smile at them, and they'll look at you and say, well, why did he just smile at me? Or why did she just smile at me? Because I just called them my name and they're smiling at me. That eats them up more inside than anything. Believe me. Kill them with kindness, brother.
I can't turn the other cheek because I disagree with that statement. I'm like, as soon as you see somebody hold their hand up, why don't you just duck? And then you won't get hit at all. See, my face is too pretty to get hit on, so I can't turn the other cheek. I'd rather duck.
Yeah, I'm right there with Dwayne. It's hard for me to turn the other cheek, and I have to see. There's a reason why I delete hateful comments. Is I don't let it ruin my days. Like every time I see that comment, I want it to ruin my days and get me all stressed out, especially when I first wake up in the morning.
But believe me, Hunter, my cousin was a sergeant major in the Army. He did 3 tours, and my other cousin's a black belt in karate and jiu-jitsu. And my cousin that was in the Army told my cousin that's a black belt in karate and jiu-jitsu. He said, Ed, I'm not afraid of you. I'm afraid of Mike. He's a silent one. If somebody pushes me, believe me, you're going to get such a rear end kick. It's unbelievable. I will grab anything and everything to hit you with. I don't care if it's a 2x4, a chair, whatever. We get in a fist fight. I'm not fighting with fists. I'm fighting with anything I can grab. Because I'm going to know there's a chance I might get beat because of my disability. But I'm not going down. Believe me, that person's going to go down, So I don't turn a cheek all the time. I do most of the time. I can unleash the pit bull on me, but I won't do that,
All right, so we almost coming to our 2-hour mark, and we only got a couple of slides, so let's see if we can breeze through that. But before we leave, this last slide, it's not that one. It is this one. Remember this one about handling rude and hateful comments.
How do you manage to stay so calm? Simple. I always ignore what idiots say and I just tell them, you're right. But that's ridiculous. You're right.
Yep. So just remember that when it comes down to dealing with people. And the last thing.
Are you saying my money's all gone? Mm-hmm. But I made all the right moves, didn't I?
Yes, sir. Every move the right one.
I see it all now. You're just a bunch of yes men. I was making the wrong moves and you were too gutless to tell me. Isn't that right?
Yes,
yes,
sir. Good answer.
Yeah, that one. The yes man. And your inner circle, make sure you don't have the wrong +1 person. You have 2 types of +1s. That's the wrong person. You have the yes man that says yes to everything that you say and do, even if it's wrong. Instead of, they basically just tell you what you want to hear and not what you need to hear. A lot of times, those that's really your friend will tell you what you need to hear. It may feel uncomfortable, but they're trying to give you advice to help you up your game, as opposed to feeding into your ego and letting you self-destruct. So you gotta be careful of those. And then the other one is the one that says business partners, collabs, or crew members who aren't toxic, but they aren't aligned with what you're trying to do either. So it'd be like this person right here.
Are you saying my money's
Not
all
that
gone?
one. This one.
Interesting song selection. I wouldn't have played it this early though. I like this edit. I wonder where he got it. Needs to mix out quicker. Can't let 2 verses run on this. I could definitely be doing a better job. These songs are way out of key. I wonder what he's getting paid. I should ask him if he wants me to hop on. I forgot about this song. I need to remember to add it to my playlist. Maybe I should talk to the manager, see if he wants me to play next week.
You need to be careful of that guy. That's the silent one. That's there only to see to have a front row of your downfall. That's always scheming and planning behind your back. So you gotta be careful of those quiet ones in your group. Not saying that the ones that don't talk, I mean the ones that don't have your best interest in mind, and you kind of like can sense it if you have those in your group.
Yeah, with that personally, I don't think I've ever experienced that.
I have.
Mm-hmm.
We all have, Hunter, believe me. We all have. And you know what? Most of the time it comes from family members. You wouldn't think it, but it does. And maybe at this point in time in your life it didn't happen. But honestly, I mean, my wife has a big family. I'm an only child, but I have a lot of cousins. I only have one cousin book me for an event. That is from my side of the family. My wife's side of the family, they book me for everything. And I charge them. And they book me. And my side of the family, they would rather pay a stranger than pay me. I'm their cousin. It's like, hey, okay, you want to pay? My cousin booked this DJ for his wedding, paid over $4,000 for this wedding. And I hate to say it, he absolutely sucked. He had great equipment.
Yeah.
Sound wrong. The speakers sound like crap. And they were the DJ or the Evolve 70s. I heard them many times prior to that. And then when I heard them at my cousin's wedding, it was just like, whoa. And I heard he was trying to say it was a bagged round. I know the venue owners personally, and he has all new electricity through the whole barn. I DJed there several times. I've never had that problem. So you are going to meet somebody that is going to do you dirty. Honestly, basically 9 times out of 10, it comes from somebody in your own family. Business partners, like me and Will are talking about maybe joining forces and stuff like that. But as a business partner, we're gonna have DJ Mikey Mike. I'm still have that. He's gonna still have his Will, and then we're gonna share a thing. Maybe come up with a name for it. But if I'm booked, I pass right over to Will. If he's booked, he passes it right over to me. If it's a bilingual, it might be a quinceañera. I can pass right to him because he's bilingual. He speaks fluently English and Spanish. And I mean, Will's such a great guy. I met him over the internet, just like I met you guys here. And I'm so happy I met you guys. I'm so happy I met Will. Will is about 45 minutes away from me. But it's nice to surround yourself with people that you can trust and you could talk to. I know I could talk to any of you guys here, any guys in the chat. I know I could talk to. Buddy, yes, we have been on 2 hours. I'm watching the football game, so I just saw your chat here, pal. I'm sorry. I know we're over 2 hours. I still got to prep for a wedding yet too, buddy. But
yeah, I'm actually proud enough to have the loving, caring family that I have, because they love me and they support me with everything that I do, even with my DJing. They would support me no matter what.
I had a friend. I walked with crutches for 7 years, and my buddy, I got a flat tire. He would walk 3 miles and come up and change my tire for me. He did more for me than any of my family members did. cousins. I'm saying, because I don't have no sisters or brothers. And sadly, he passed away. Passed away from cancer.
Sorry to hear that.
The thing is, you never know when life is going to end, when it's going to begin. My daughter's going to be getting married in 2 years, and hopefully I'll be a grandpa. I keep teasing her about that. The thing is, just again, I keep reiterating this: life is too short. Keep a smile on your face. Be kind to people, and if you're gonna joke around with them, if you say a rude comment, say, "Hey, old man, I was just joking," just look, JK on the end of that comment, so this way, it was a joke. Because sometimes, like before, I got very defensive. Again, you have to, as you get older, your knowledge should get better, and you should be able to speak more proficiently. You should be able to look through what people are actually doing and what they're saying. But sometimes you don't. You just, you fly off the handle, and we're human again. So again, be kind to people. One of my inspirations in DJing is Brian S. Red. I mean, that guy was through to hell and back, and he is definitely a total inspiration to me. And hopefully he's a total inspiration to a lot of the other DJs that are here in the chat and stuff. I was so honored that he was on our show last week, and hopefully we could get him to come back soon. Hopefully get a couple other guys from the chill room. Hopefully we could maybe we could even get John Young to come on, and Jay Brennan to come on, and John Colley to come on. I mean, Damien to come on. I mean, we have them. That's such a knowledgeable group of DJs at DJM TV. Buddy's there too. The one guy I miss is Jimmy the Spin. A bunch of great guys. Yeah, they do they bump heads every once in a while, but guess what? At the end of the day, they would stick up for each other. 1, 2, 3. It's just that's the way it is. But sometimes you fly off the handle. Again, we're all guilty of it. Not just me, not just you, Hunter. Wayne, we're human. We're all guilty of it. So, nobody's perfect. Nobody can say, "Oh, I never flew off the handle." Nobody can say, "I never did this" or "I never did that." Well, lady, you're human. You did it. It's like saying, "Oh yeah, my fart doesn't stink." Yeah, okay. Well, maybe everybody's does. That's
right, let's go to the church. Yep, let's head to the chat before we head on out and wrap this up. The Ruckus, Diego said, no one can dictate how you're going to feel, only you can. So don't let anyone that doesn't add to your life get to you with negative comments. And then as far as having someone, the wrong +1, he said, you might not have noticed it, but we all have gone through that. And Buddy, our timekeeper, says that we're over 2 hours, so we'll be wrapping it up in a second. And here it went on to say, we all got others who say unkind things to us. All we can do is move on. Sticks and stones. Yep.
Oh yeah, like that saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt.
Mm-hmm. And then he says, I guess he says Brian is coming to his gig, and he's letting him use his speakers. And much love to you, Diego. And I'll be sending those pictures, and I'll be putting up his channel link so you can direct message him to see where to send your pictures. And Chin Chillin said, it reminds me the song called Enigma, Gravity of Love, the lyrics I like.
Yeah.
So let's review real quick, wrap everything up. Remember, if you have an inner circle, try to surround yourself with people that will support you, that will uplift you and not pull you down. Avoid these people in your inner circles. Or if you have them in your inner circle, proceed with caution, just like the way Naomi says on SmackDown. So watch out for the stuck in the past DJ or stuck in their way DJ, the Gig Opportunist, the Drama Starter, the Energy Vampire, or you're trying to be the DJ savior and trying to be everything for everybody. Having the wrong +1 in your group, or the reckless DJ. So avoid those people in your inner circle. And the key lessons is protect your energy, brand, and reputation. Not everyone deserves a spot in your booth. Keep your circle clean, lean, focused, and aligned, just like your music library. The right crew amplifies you. The wrong crew drains you. So let's jump right into the fade out message, which is, DJs, if your circle doesn't support you, it's not a circle, it's a cage. So keep that in mind when you're surrounding yourself with associates, friends, and families, and all the like. You all have anything before we head on out?
There's family members I do not speak to. When people ask me, "Are you related to this person in your family?" I look at them. I say, "Why?" They say, "What do you mean, why?" I said, "Because I don't want to get shot, or I don't want to get a punch in the face." You know, it's a very long story. I don't want to get into that, but it's a scary situation. You know, it's like, whoa, wait a second. I have the same name, but I don't associate. And that's what I leave it at. You know, I do not associate with them. So, you know, they're family, but I have friends that are way better than them, 1,000%. But I have Hunter. I have Dwayne. Dwayne is my man. I love that guy. Hunter, I love you too, buddy. And buddy, I love him too.
Yeah, I love him until I strike a nerve, and then he had it up to here with me, and then I had to leave. I had to leave my social media just so I don't hear the comments and we called all those names.
Wait, honestly, I don't think you could ever piss me off. Honestly, we're like peanut butter and jelly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just. Oh, you like peanut butter or you like the jelly part? Which one?
I like jelly.
Okay, I'll be the peanut butter. But I don't like the creamy stuff. I like the chunky stuff.
All right, so before we head on out, we have this thing called the DJ Collective Network. And the views and opinions expressed during the DJ Collective Network primetime shows are those of the individual host and guests of that show. They do not necessarily reflect the views or official stance of the different shows of the DJ Collective Network as a whole, its affiliates, or production partners. Viewers and listeners' discretion is advised. So just remember, what you send out into the world, you may get back. So be kind to one another.
And you get back tenfold sometimes.
Mm-hmm. So it's one culture, many voices. Welcome to our primetime DJ lineup, a weekly schedule of live stream shows built for DJs by DJs. Whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, we've got the knowledge, stories, and inspiration to help you level up. On Mondays, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. For every DJ chasing dreams, no matter the odds, it's your time to spend with DJ Cool Thing. And then on Tuesdays at 9 Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, join Buddy and his weekly guest panel of DJs for unfiltered conversation that matter. It's the DJ Roundtable with Buddy from TBM Productions. And then if you missed the live stream on Twitch, no worries, you can see the rebroadcast on Monday at 1 o'clock on Buddy's channel, which is at TBM Productions DJ1.
Does he still have a deep dive also? I forgot to ask him that the other night.
I want to say yeah, and if he does, if it still comes out, I thought it came out on Fridays on 12. And then on Wednesdays, Sean, which is DJ Night Owl, has promised a new video coming within the next couple of weeks. You can join DJ Night Owl on his DJ Biz School channel. It's not just about Spinning Tracks is about spinning success. Learn the business side of DJing, branding, marketing, SEO, and strategy with DJ Night Owl, who was in the chat tonight. And then on Thursday is the busy night. You have two podcasts. You have the cueitup DJ podcast with me, the HitmanDDub, and my partner in crime, djmikiemike. And we have guests come on, but it seemed like one guest has been on here so regularly, it's almost like he's our third partner. It's almost like us doing the old time to spin show that we used to do on
The
Thursdays.
crew is back.
Yep.
Boys
Where
are
we
back
talk
in
about
town. Boys are back in town. Bill Finley's
Yep, where our conversations, we have first takes, live challenges, pro insights, and everything in between. It's the it's the cueitup DJ podcast, and as well on Thursdays at 9:00, it's the Start to Spin with DJ Pretty Boy, La Ruckus Inc. That's where you can see their podcast, their live stream, and DJ Shay. Again, they want you to send. I'll show you. I think I got their link. I can show you in a second. But you can join their podcast. You can flip-flop, jump back and forth on Thursdays, or it doesn't matter. We all the rebroadcast is made available right away. So you can make sure you check us out, whether it's live or on a rebroadcast. And then Kevin had made an appearance in the chat. He's usually doing his karaoke on Thursdays, but I'm happy that he was able to join us. And you can see him live on the KJ Chill Room karaoke chat with Matt and Eric. They do their live broadcasts on Mondays at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at djntv.com/KJ Chill. And then they do a rebroadcast of wherever that live show was on Sunday nights on the DJ NTV channel. And I think it drops like at 8 or 9 o'clock on Sunday. Then also we have _DJ Reese _ with We Create the Vibes podcast on YouTube, where he talks about, Buddy talks about weddings and gear, and then we talk about everything in between. And DJ Night Owl on Wednesdays will talk about the business sides and marketing sides. And then on Mondays, Cool Thing will talk about DJing on a budget and DJing with a disability. Well, DJ Reese talks about DJing as a corporate DJ. So that's where his expertise is. And he's also have worked in radio, and he does online marketing and social media marketing. So check his channel out if you want to pick up some tips and hacks. Also, make sure to like, share, and to subscribe to all of our channels. And Kevin says, thanks, no problem. Buddy says, good show tonight. And LaRucka says, Chin is always referencing a song to the combos, and that's fire. And then I almost forgot to do our shout-outs. Again, thanks, Cool Thing, for jumping on, being on our show live. And you can join his channel at DJ Cool Thing Official. And then, what was this one? Here's all the video clips that I used. I want to shout out all these people, the video clips that I had used in our show tonight. Check them out, because a few of them have a lot of those memes, good memes to follow. And let me see, there should be one for, there he is. And then La Ruckus Inc. is their channel. So hit them up to send your pictures in, because they'll be reviewing DJ setups next week. And also make sure you check out their channel. All right, see you, buddy.
Have a good night, bud.
So there, buddy.
And then don't forget to join our Cue It Up Facebook group page. You can go to the browser, type in Cue It Up, and join our public or private group. Or you can type in that long URL code. You can also follow DJ Mikie Mike on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at DJ Mikie Mike, or on Twitter and Facebook, and on Instagram at DJ Mikie Mike 45. You can follow me at the HitmanDDub or at HitmanDDub on all of my other social media sites, and it's at the HitmanDDub on YouTube. And that wraps up our show for tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed our show. And again, even though the show ends, you can still leave comments. And I'd like to hear your thoughts. If you want to be a part of the show or join the show, make sure you message us and leave a comment below and let us know what's going on. And we'll be more than happy to hit you back or have you guests appear on our show as well.
There you go, talking violence again. You gotta hit him back. We're gonna hit him back for it.
All right, see you, Lil Ruckus.
See you, Lil Ruckus. I'll send you my setup
and some music.
No, just the setup.
All right, so I again thank everyone. I would like to thank everyone for joining our podcast. Again, remember, before it's time to spin, you got to first cue it up. Hopefully, you'll go out there and make sure you be mindful of the people, the company that you keep inside your inner circle. Have fun, crush those gigs, take care, stay blessed, and I'll see you all next week.
See ya. I'll see you.
I rise like the sun while the world still sleeps. Scouring the sights looking for new leads. Marathon gigs with no in between. Your worth is from a rear view they seen. They want to party, but I'm battling fatigue, chasing passion while my mental is still out on leave. It's an everyday hustle, so respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight. Cue up the pressure. Got a story to tell. Dreams in the booth where the DJs dwell. Clubbing is a struggle like it's all I've got. Set it up, break it down, travel to the next spot. Ambitions, the engine stay sharp like a tool. Revving through my gigs, power drinks is fuel. It's an everyday hustle, we'll respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight.